It started like any other quiet evening. A little corner restaurant tucked between a pharmacy and a flower shop, the kind of place where you could hear the faint sound of jazz humming through the speakers and the clinking of plates from the kitchen. The air smelled like garlic butter and roasted chicken, simple, comforting. Daniel Carter sat at a small table near the window, his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, sitting across from him, swinging her little legs, humming a tune from her favorite cartoon. She had her father's eyes, calm but searching, the kind that carried years of quiet pain behind them. Daniel wasn't the kind of man who drew attention. His plain gray hoodie, rough hands, and tired smile didn't tell much about his past. Most people would never guess he once served 12 years in the Navy, 12 long years that left him with scars deeper than the ones anyone could see. He'd left that life behind after his wife, Sarah, passed away 3 years ago. Cancer. He still remembered how helpless he'd felt then, how even a soldier trained for war couldn't fight something so merciless. Now, all that mattered was Lily. She was his mission, his world, his reason to wake up every morning. That night, he just wanted a peaceful dinner. He'd promised Lily her favorite spaghetti and meatballs after a long week of work at the auto repair shop. But peace has a strange way of slipping away right when you need it most. The doorbell chimed, and 2 men entered. Loud. Laughing. Too loud for the quiet place. The waitress's smile faded the moment she saw them. They were drunk or something close to it. One was tall and lanky, the other broad and red-faced, with a mean glint in his eyes. At first, Daniel didn't pay attention. He had learned to ignore trouble unless it came to him. But when their laughter turned into slurred insults, and when he saw the fear on the face of the young woman behind the counter, he knew trouble was here. The woman, probably in her 20s, had long brown hair tied in a messy ponytail. She was taking their order, her hands trembling slightly as they started making comments, ugly ones. The tall one leaned too close, whispering something that made her step back. Then came the shove. A plate clattered to the floor. The restaurant fell silent. Daniel's instincts switched on. Years of discipline, of fight-or-flight training, came flooding back. His pulse didn't race, his breathing stayed even. But his eyes sharpened. He looked at Lily. "Sweetheart, stay here," he said softly, his voice steady. She blinked, confused. "Daddy?" He smiled faintly, the kind of smile that said everything would be okay. "Keep your eyes on your spaghetti, pumpkin." Then he stood. The broad man grabbed the waitress's wrist, pulling her close, laughing as she struggled. "Come on, smile a little. Let her go." Daniel's voice cut through the air like a blade. Calm. Firm. Deadly certain. The 2 men turned. The big one smirked. "Mind your business, old man." Daniel took a step forward. "This is my business now." The lanky one sneered, "You gonna make us?" They didn't even see it coming. 15 seconds. That's all it took. The first man lunged, a clumsy swing. Daniel sidestepped, caught his wrist, twisted, and used the man's momentum to slam him into the floor. Before the second could react, Daniel moved again, fast, precise. A quick block, a strike to the ribs, a sweep to the legs. The man crashed down, gasping. Silence filled the restaurant, broken only by the sound of 2 groaning attackers on the floor. The waitress stood frozen, eyes wide. "How did you?" Daniel helped her steady herself, checking if she was okay. "You're safe now," he said simply. The manager came rushing out. Someone in the back had already called the police. Lily ran to her father, wrapping her tiny arms around his leg. "Daddy, are you okay?" He knelt down and hugged her. "Always, baby girl." Then the waitress spoke softly, still trembling. "Who are you?" Daniel hesitated for a moment. He didn't like talking about it. But the truth slipped out anyway. "Used to be Navy," he said, almost quietly. "A long time ago." Her eyes widened. That explains it." But Daniel just smiled faintly. "No. That just taught me how to fight. My daughter, she's why I do it." Outside, the flashing blue lights of a police car painted the restaurant windows. But inside, a quiet strength filled the room, the kind that doesn't shout, but protects without hesitation. The next day, the story was everywhere. Someone had recorded the entire thing on their phone. Within hours, social media lit up. Single dad protects waitress from attackers, former Navy hero. The video hit 1 million views by morning. Daniel didn't care for fame, but he couldn't stop the flood of messages. Reporters wanted interviews. Strangers called him a hero. But for him, it wasn't about that. It never was. That morning, he sat with Lily on their small apartment balcony, sipping coffee while she drew with her crayons. She looked up at him suddenly. "Daddy," she said, "why did those bad men hurt that lady?" He sighed, staring at the rising sun. "Sometimes, people forget how to be kind, Lily. They hurt others because they don't understand what real strength is." She thought about it. "You're strong, Daddy." He smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "You know what makes me strong?" She tilted her head. "What?" "You. You remind me that the world still has good in it. That's why I protect people, because I want you to grow up in a world that's safe." The little girl smiled, hugging his arm tightly. Later that week, the waitress, her name was Emily, stopped by his workplace. She handed him a small box of muffins, homemade, still warm. "I just wanted to say thank you," she said. "You didn't even hesitate that night. You saved me." Daniel shook his head. "You don't have to thank me." But she insisted, eyes glistening. "Yes, I do. Because you reminded me that not everyone turns away when someone's in trouble. That matters." Daniel looked down for a moment, his throat tightening. It had been a long time since anyone had said something like that to him. "Take care of yourself," he said softly. "And don't let fear stop you from living." Emily nodded, wiping her eyes. "You too, Mr. Navy." He chuckled, then watched as she left, head held a little higher than before. That night, Daniel tucked Lily into bed. She looked up sleepily and whispered, "Daddy, you're a hero." He smiled, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "No, sweetheart. I'm just your dad." But deep down, he knew that what he did mattered, not just for Emily, but for every person who might see that video and remember that there are still people who stand up for what's right. As he turned off the light and stepped out of the room, the faint sound of Lily's breathing filled the silence. Peace, at last. And for the first time in years, Daniel Carter, the quiet single dad, the man who'd carried so many burdens, felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Pride. Not for what he'd done as a soldier, but for who he'd become as a father.